Hey, welcome. You ever feel like English is just this huge, overwhelming mountain of words you have to memorize? But what if I told you there's a secret blueprint hidden inside the language, a kind of master key that can unlock thousands of words? And believe it or not, we're going to find it by looking at just one simple word.
It sounds a little crazy, right? I mean, how can one simple, everyday word possibly hold the instructions for a massive chunk of the English language? That's the big question we're tackling today. And honestly, the answer is surprisingly simple.
See, here's the secret. You've got to stop thinking about English as just a giant list of words to cram into your brain. Think of it more like a system, like a set of building blocks that comes with a really simple instruction manual. Because once you understand the instructions for one block, you basically know how to build with thousands of others.
And our instruction manual for today, it's this right here, the dictionary entry for the word soap. We're going to treat this thing not just as a definition, but like a piece of code that's going to reveal the hidden logic of the whole English language.
Okay, first things first. Every word has a job, what grammar folks call a part of speech. The most basic job a word can have is just being a thing, and we call that a noun. So let's start by looking at soap as a thing.
And boom, right away we find our first huge clue in the blueprint. That word in parentheses, uncountable. That one little label tells you that soap behaves just like other general stuff, like water or sand or air. You wouldn't say one water, right? You'd say some water. It's the exact same rule at play.
And check out this example. Notice how it says the soap, not a soap. It's talking about the stuff in general. This simple sentence makes that whole uncountable rule click into place. You can really see it in action.
But hold on, because English just loves to keep things interesting. While soap is generally this uncountable substance, we can talk about specific bars or types of soap. And when we do that, it follows the single most common rule in all of English. You just slap an S on the end to make it plural. One soap, many soaps. That one tiny rule works for countless other nouns.
All right, now the blueprint is about to get even cooler. A ton of English words are like little shapeshifters. They can be more than one part of speech. Soap isn't just a thing. They can also be an action. And in grammar, an action word is what we call a verb. And here's our next big clue from the instruction manual, the word transitive. Don't let the fancy term scare you. All it means is that this action, this verb, needs a target. It has to act on something. You can't just soap into thin air. You have to soap something. You soap your hands, you soap the dog, you get the idea.
And here we see that transitive rule playing out perfectly. What was soaped? What was the target? Her hair. The action, soaped, is directly connected to an object. Understanding that simple connection is just fundamental to building clear sentences in English.
Okay, everyone, this right here, this is the absolute jackpot. This little table isn't just the blueprint for the verb soap. This is the blueprint for thousands of what we call regular verbs in English. Want to talk about the past? Just add ed. Talking about right now, adding. Talking about he or she, add an s. Once you learn this pattern for soap, you've also learned it for walk, talk, clean, jump. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on.
But the blueprint doesn't even stop with grammar. A really good dictionary entry gives us even more clues about how a word fits into the bigger picture, like how it sounds and who its relatives are.
So our blueprint even shows us how the word sounds. Now you don't need to get lost in these phonetic symbols, but you can see there's a tiny difference between the American and British ways of saying it. It just goes to show you that even a standard blueprint can have regional tweaks, which is a key thing to know about a global language like English.
And finally, the blueprint introduces us to the word's family. Think of words like detergent and shampoo as its cousins. They all do a similar job, right? And soapy is like a direct descendant, made using another totally standard English rule. So by looking up one word, you immediately find a whole network of other words you can start to understand. Okay, so we've taken a really deep dive into the word soap. We've seen it as a noun, as a verb, we've met its family, and we've heard how it sounds. So what? What's the big takeaway? How do we actually use this to unlock the code of the language? This is the absolute key. Nothing we learned about soap is unique to the word soap. The rules for making things plural, for changing verb tenses, for figuring out parts of speech, these are the standard, repeatable, reliable patterns of English. Soap was just our tour guide. The blueprint it showed us is universal. So we can boil it all down to this simple, three-step process you can use for pretty much any new word you come across. First, just ask, is it a thing or an action? Second, what form do I need? And third, just apply that super simple pattern. Add an S, an ED, or an ING. That's it. That's your master key.
And that is the real power of understanding the system instead of just trying to memorize words. That simple pattern we found hiding inside the word soap, it's not just some boring little grammar rule. It is a powerful engine that drives a huge portion of the English language.
So, the next time you see a simple word, I'm talking water, walk, or book, don't just see a definition. See a challenge. See a puzzle. Go look for the blueprint inside. 'Cause now you know the secret. So, what everyday word you gonna investigate next?